Hello everyone, welcome to the final episode of Season 13. I'm Lola Rice.
And I'm Noah Rose. It's sad to have to say goodbye to Samohighlights. It's been such a blast.
The season finale will include coverage on the surf team, the club Building Homies, the Samohi Orchestra trip to South America, and a fun look at this year's yearbook.
And last but not least, a performance by Justin Platt. Let's get right into it.
I'm definitely gonna miss that iconic Samohighlights opening.
It's certainly a classic. Anyway, let's start diving into the Samohi surf team.
The Samohi surf team is run through Surf Academy and hits the beach Mondays and Wednesdays after school.
Santa Monica is the perfect place to catch some crazy waves.
Noah, I'm pretty sure you're trying to say they surf some gnar tubes.
Oh, a tubular.
Oh yeah, gnarly.
Cowabunga.
Okay, I'm running out of surface slang. Let's roll the clip.
Hang 10, those waves are off the hook.
I heard there's even better waves down south.
In Mexico? Oh, speaking of Mexico, have you heard of Building Homies?
I think so. They went to Mexico this past weekend, right?
Yeah, Building Homies is a club that travels to Mexico with a volunteer program called Amor to build homes for impoverished families.
Sounds great.
They build the houses from scratch, putting walls up and adding concrete foundations, staying in tents the whole time.
Oh, so they camped down there over the 3-day weekend.
Yeah, sounds fun, right?
Let's take a look.
Building Homies is a club that my friend Noah and I founded sophomore year. She's like the main founder and I'm the co-founder, vice president person. We go on trips to Mexico over 3-day weekends and build homes with the More Ministries. We hold a few meetings. We don't hold them like weekly because we just don't have much to talk about because we usually go on only one trip a year. Pretty much over the year we'll just like fundraise to pay for a hotel room the Friday night before and food and like make the cost of going cheaper for everybody. This year was interesting, it was really fun. We actually went up early on Friday and spent the day in San Diego and hung out. And then Saturday morning we went from the hotel and like went to the campsite and we went to start building the house. So they already have the slate laid out for us. And then we started building the wall frames, and then that night we had a big campfire in the center of all our tents. The next day we woke up, built, then came home and ate a bunch, and they had homemade churros that day. And then the next day we finished building and then we drove home. So the first day we start with the wood framing of the house because all we have is a concrete slat on the floor. And so they give us like packets with what each wall is supposed to look like, and then the family decides where the door is going to be, where they want the windows. We have to build 4 wall panels and then 2 roof panels. We build the wall panels with wood and just like nailing and basic hammering. And then we get those up, nail those together, and then we put little nails and everything and do wire around it and make it really tight. And then we cover it with concrete. The ceiling the roof you tar, you put tar paper and you tar again. It's this whole thing. We had a few juniors come with us this year, so they want to carry it on. But next year we're hoping that like they'll campaign and we'll publicly like say where the meetings are. We'll maybe have the juniors make an Instagram. Anybody can be members. They can bring all their friends. We can add them to like our Mind 101, and yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I feel inspired to build a house now.
Go for it.
Building Homies wasn't the only Samo High group to recently travel out the country.
That's true. Stick around to hear about Orchestra's trip around South America.
And we're back.
Samo High is known for its amazing musicians, and over spring break they got to show their talent all over South America.
Wow, that sounds so fun.
They had concerts in Argentina, Uruguay, and more.
Let's take a quick look at a few of their performances.
On the show today, we have Michael Shee and Gavin Moss to talk about orchestra.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
So what instruments do you guys play?
We both play violin.
Yeah.
Cool, and you guys both went to the Argentina trip, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Are there any interesting stories from that trip that you guys can tell us?
Well, you know, we got to go visit some cool museums around there. We got to explore some of the history, you know, Eva Perón.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about her. And
Who's Eva Perón?
she was the
Sorry, ignorant.
she was the leader of or she was the wife of the leader of Argentina. Yeah, and she was like did a lot of big changes in the country.
Interesting. So you guys performed there. What songs did you guys do?
We played Brahms movement 1 through 4 of Symphony 1.
We did a lot of like tangos, so
Yeah.
Tangazo, that was one we played. It was traditional Argentina.
Did you guys learn how to
Argentinian
dance
piece.
too?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, we had a tango lesson
Oh, yeah.
there.
That sounds so
yeah.
fun.
How did that turn out? Were you guys pretty good at tangoing?
It was
No.
a little crowded. It was a little crowded.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so when you guys orchestra goes to other countries, you went to Argentina, you played in these amazing places. Who's the audience that comes to the Samo High Orchestra in Argentina?
You know, on the first performance we had a bunch of Argentinian natives who meet up every Sunday for concerts.
Yeah, it's part of a program. So they have people like subscribe to the theater, and then they'll go to a bunch of concerts throughout the year, and we were one of those.
And did you guys feel like you had a warm reception there from?
Yeah, for our first piece, which was the Argentinian national anthem, we got the audience to sing with us. So,
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah.
What an amazing moment.
How many different performances did you guys end up doing?
We did 3 performances
In
throughout the
different
trip.
locations?
Yeah.
That's really fun. So what did you guys do in your free? Did you have downtime there? Or?
We didn't have much downtime. We were usually getting back late because we had performances and rehearsals, but we also got to have like exploring local markets, and yeah, we usually got back very late. So
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like a
how
lot.
long were you guys there for?
We were there for like
10
10
days?
days,
Oh, wow.
but it got extended a little bit because our
Yeah.
flight got incredibly delayed
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
way
Oh
really?
no.
Yeah.
What happened?
Our flight first got delayed, and then we were told to move on to another flight, but then that one, I guess, got
That one
canceled.
got canceled, and
So-
yeah, we ended up getting back like a day later than
Yeah.
we were supposed to.
So how long were you guys stuck in the airport for?
Like 12 hours.
Yeah.
Something
That's
like that.
so much.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, I imagine that's kind of a bonding experience, right? Like everyone's. in the
Most of us were
orchestra.
getting sick there, so.
Yeah,
Oh
that was-
really?
yeah.
Oh no, that sounds terrible.
So delayed flight and getting sick at the same time.
Exactly.
But it was worth it, right?
Yeah.
You guys
Go
would
to
go
Argentina.
back.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, our orchestra goes all around the world. It's really
Yeah,
lucky
it's
that
great.
we have that opportunity.
And do they do that every year, every other year? How does that work for orchestra?
So Philharmonic, which is the second highest, goes every other year, and every other year that they're not going, symphony goes. So they switch
Oh,
back
okay.
and forth.
I see.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have. Thank you guys so much for coming on the
Yeah,
show.
thank you. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
So at the end of every year, Samo High presents the yearbook. And throughout the year, there's a team of people working tirelessly to produce it.
Tonight we have some members of the yearbook class to give us an idea of the whole bookmaking process. With us today is Emna DeBera and Daniel Sizer.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
So what are your positions on the yearbook staff?
Okay, so I'm the managing editor and the club's editor. So,
What does that entail? Like, what type of jobs? Do you
so
do?
the club's as a club's editor, I basically make sure that all the clubs are featured in the yearbook, having the presidents and their mission statements and everything about them. And as managing editor, I just make sure that the senior pages and the business ads are in the back of the book that you always see, and just like a funding outside of our own.
Right. What's your job too?
I'm one of the editors-in-chief, along with Paloma, and yeah, so
So
just
did-
a lot of overseeing.
Did you have to like apply for that job, or did you get voted into that?
Yeah, at the end of last year, all the returners, like we reapply for the editor positions or
Uh-huh.
executive board positions that we want, that we hope for next year.
Awesome.
So what was the theme of the yearbook this year?
This year, our theme is Take a Closer Look. So we, with this theme, we were hoping to highlight like smaller subsets and pockets of like little cultures and little groups and experiences that exist at Samo High in different clubs and organizations and just like friend groups, and so we hope that we did a good job of that.
And did you specifically, one of you specifically, come up with that idea, or was it a group decision?
So it was mostly me and Paloma that honed in on the theme
Yeah.
at yearbook camp, which
Oh,
is a real
yearbook
thing.
camp.
During like the summer right before school this year. And then once like we got to school, we made sure that like we found ways, with all the staff and the other members of the executive board to implement the theme in like in how we cover students and the copy we write and the pictures we take and stuff like that.
So you guys started working on the theme last summer, and then what does the process look like throughout the year, starting in September to when it gets printed?
So we go through 6 deadline cycles that get progressively shorter throughout the year, and we like to take it through, we build a layout, and then we put content in that layout, and then we proof it, and then we like make sure that we're covering, what we need to be covering. And so our last deadline goes in only about a month before the books come in, which is kind of stressful because that deadline is only like 4 weeks long.
Yeah, it sounds like a really like chaotic time.
Yes.
Very hectic.
And do you do you guys have to like submit that to an advisor for them to look over, or is it solely up to you guys to do?
So we work with our advisor, Ms. Chapman, but then we also have the plant and a yearbook rep from the plant. So our publisher is Herf Jones, and we have a contract with them that will submit, some set amount of pages on certain dates.
So you guys work so hard throughout the year. We always hear about yearbook staff, we're stressed out. What is it that motivates you guys and pushes you throughout the year to keep on working like this?
Yeah. Okay. Well, for me personally, what motivates me throughout the entire year is just that, you know, I know that all the work that I'm putting into it, all the like extra hours we have like after school, like sometimes going to like 9 o'clock at night, it's all working towards like a shared moment that we can all have together, like as a school, everyone, you know, buying their yearbooks and looking through them, signing them, and like seeing themselves represented in this yearbook is just like one of the like best gifts I can have. Yeah.
Daniel? Same thing?
Pretty similar, yeah. It's really fun to work with everybody and to get to know like how we can work on something that feels like a part of school but also kind of like separate from it. And then at the end of the year it's so exciting, and then I just like hope that, you know, it'll last, that like 20 years from now I or Mnet or you guys or whoever will like pick up their yearbook and like it'll draw them back to Samohi.
It's our legacy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
Yeah,
The book
thank
looks
you.
amazing.
It does.
Thank you.
We'll stick around for the final performance of the season by Justin Platt.
Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Platt.
When the days are done and the lights are low and everything you knew is fading away, you remember being here, the feel of the atmosphere are just pictures of the past in moments that you wish would last. The days are numbered now, and you feel the world crashing down, 'cause they're ready for the end and for the new lives to begin. That's not how you feel, and you have no time to heal from the loss of all your friends. Life moves on. It's time to move. Gotta pick up your shoes. Gotta leave the past behind. You have new friends to find. It is not easy, and it's so messy. Have to leave, it will be fine. Have to find a way to say goodbye. You thought it was over now, packed up and shipped out. Thought you were left alone, so far from home. Have to move on, have to push on, leave the rest behind. Except it's not the end. You see your friends again. It's time to move. Gotta pick up your shoes. Have to leave the past behind. Keep your friends in your mind. It's not easy. Say goodbye to jokes like easy. It will be fine. Have to find a way to say goodbye. Say goodbye today. Say goodbye today. I found a way. I found a way. Found a way. I found a way to say goodbye today. Today, I found a way to say goodbye today. Thanks, guys.
What's up, Justin? Welcome back to the studio.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since you were here. Have you written any new songs since then?
Yeah, I wrote 2 new ones.
What are they about?
Yeah.
Well, the one I wrote for today is called Goodbye, and that one is more about everybody leaving because this is my senior year and everybody going to college, and like, you know, I'm obviously excited, but I'm not in a rush. And it feels like people are all they're focusing on is, you know, this next part of their life, and I'm not really ready to move on because I've seen the same people my entire life every single day, and then that's just going to be gone. Or not gone, just different.
So it sounds like it was a pretty emotional song for you to write.
Yeah, I find that I can only really be serious through my music.
Wow.
Makes sense.
So
What about your other song? What's the other one about?
The other one I wrote was about also kind of moving on because I'm not the most serious person, obviously, but I feel like in certain times now I have to be more serious than really I'd want to because I tend to joke around. So it's kind of about just growing up a little bit, which is not the easiest thing for me.
Yeah, or anybody
Yeah.
in that matter.
So you were in public domain recently.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
That was really fun because I do enjoy performing for people. I don't do it a lot, but I don't really have a problem in being in front of people and doing music or comedy or just making a fool of myself. It's really not
You
my
do comedy?
I just mean being funny. I do have comedy written,
Stand-up?
but
Every day he
I
does
have no clue
comedy.
if it's funny actually. It's like that's pretty rough. But yeah, I love because I did an interpretation of Demons because I love writing my own songs, but I also love other people's songs. And what I do is I take someone's song and I'll do my own interpretation of it, and that's really fun because I get to mess with it because it's just I use a loop pedal or different strumming or something different.
So why did you choose Demons for your public domain performance?
I have always loved Imagine Dragons as the band, and Demons used to be something I couldn't sing because it was too high, and I was finally able to hit those notes, and then I kind of changed it a bunch to kind of dumb it down because I don't have all the lights and the drums and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I really loved the way I was starting to do it, and it allowed me to kind of change it into my own song instead of it being their song because I feel like if you heard them, even if you knew the song, you'd kind of realize like, oh, they're kind of different.
Well, this is your first time doing public domain, right?
Yeah.
And if you could next year, would you do it again?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I would do anything for people.
Yeah, to perform.
Do you get nervous or?
No, I don't get nervous at all.
Ever?
No, not really.
Wow, that's
Well, it's
impressive.
because I had literally the worst thing that could happen on stage did happen on stage where you like have that moment. It's like that big moment and then you have that voice crack. Yeah, that happened to me on
no.
stage. So literally the worst has happened, so it can't get any worse.
So you've experienced rock bottom, so now it's just like whatever happens,
All up from
happens.
here.
That's one way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
So on another note, what instruments do you play? And for the song you just wrote, which ones? did
Okay,
you-
so I went through a whole stretch. I've always sang, but I went through trumpet, percussion, drums, piano a little bit, and then guitar is something I really stuck with because I love it just being me and the guitar because it's something that's a very personal instrument. I can change it to the way I want it to be. Like when you're with other people in a band, you kind of have to tell them or you have to collaborate together, but I like being able to just control it myself and like if I notice something's wrong or I want to try something new, I can just kind of do it on the spot. A lot of the times I'm just making up what I'm doing because I think it sounds good.
Do you plan to pursue music or do it in college?
Music is more of a dream for me. I'm gonna play in college, but I'm not actually like taking music in college. I'm gonna do it on the side and hope something comes of it because that'd be really, really awesome. That's what I would love to do. But I'm playing on the safer side and then kind of shooting high on.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait to hear your new songs in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, that's the end of that. We had a good run.
Make sure to thank Mr. Wishart. Without him, we probably wouldn't exist.
And thank you to everyone else involved. This show takes a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, that's all, folks. Deuces.